Welcome back to Gerodynamics. Okay, so movie review time. You know how I said in the last movie review that originally I was supposed to go see Late Night with the Devil, but unfortunately the theater was booked solid. It was definitely full theaters, so we ended up going and seeing Immaculate instead. Um, yeah, this movie is definitely way better than Immaculate. Wish I had gotten to see it with my brother and his wife, but we saw Immaculate. Immaculate was what it was. I know it has more buzz around it because it has Sydney Sweeney in it, and there's a lot of talk going around on that. But this movie has a lot of hype amongst people who like this type of movie, which is technically horror, but we'll get into that. Um, and so the theaters, and then I think there's less showing, so the theaters are full, or more full. And so yeah, the theater was pretty full when we went and saw it this time. But we definitely got our seats. We got in there and we had a great time. And that's the before I get into the full details of the movie review. No spoilers, by the way. I'm not going to spoil it. I just want to tell you, go see this movie. If you enjoy horror movies, again, we'll get into details about the horror of it. If you enjoy that type of movie, scary type of movie, you're going to really like this movie. And if you just like really good movies, you'll really like this movie. It is one of the better movies I've seen in a long time, definitely this year. And I just can't, say it enough. Go see this movie. All right, so let's kind of do a review of it. Again, no spoilers. I want you to go see it. I don't want to spoil it. Let's go. All right, so Late Night with the Devil. It's about an hour and a half, which is great. I enjoy a long movie, but like especially with like horror movies, I think it's better when it's concise. It doesn't have too much filler, and especially what we'll talk about with this one. It definitely benefited from being very streamlined and not overly long. Okay, the main star of the movie is David. Let me see if I can say his name without just butchering it. Dashmalchian. Dashmalchian. David Dashmalchian. We'll go with that. You've seen him before if you don't recognize his name. And so let's talk about some of the things he's been in that you've seen him before. He was in the Suicide Squad. Um, the let's see, he was Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad movie. The is it the first one? No, the sequel. Yes. So well, it's technically a sequel. Anyways, the Suicide Squad. He's Polka Dot Man in that movie. He's also pretty well known for his role in The Dark Knight, and he was just the Joker's thug, which is funny. That's way back in 2008. He didn't even have a named character, but he made an impression on people. He was also in Dune. Peter De Vries, so one of the characters in Dune. Let's see, what else has he done? Oh, he was on the last voyage of the Demeter. Demeter. I don't know if I did a. I think I did a movie review for that. If I didn't, I should have. But that was really good. So if you haven't had a chance to see that one, go look for that on streaming or rent it. He was in Oppenheimer, The Boogeyman. Uh, Boogeyman was okay. Um, and a ton of other movies. Ant Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania. He was actually just a voice, I think, in that one. But in the previous Ant Mans, he was like one of the friends, the criminal group. But anyways, he's done a ton of movies, a ton of movies. Usually as more of a low key character or side character. But in this movie, he is the main character and he deserves it. He puts on a great performance in this movie. Watch it just for that, especially if you're a fan of his. He's got an interesting look, and so he's always kind of been like more like of a character actor as opposed to being like a main star, and we want to see him do more. So let's support this movie and let's get him into more movies as the main star. He's great. All right, let's see who else did we have in this movie. We have, I would say it's got him lower on the list of actors, but I would say Rice Oteri is probably the secondary actor in this movie. He's the co-host of the show, the Late Night with the the show that they're doing, the talk show. Again, I'm not going to give too many details, but you know that the concept is it's a late night talk show where they're going to go ahead and have some sort of possession on it. And so he is the co-host of the show, does a really good job. And wow, okay, so he has done this and then a short movie called A Good Deed from back in 2018. That's the only thing he's ever acted in. All right, good job, guy. Good job, buddy. I'm assuming he's like a stage actor because he was actually pretty good in this. So I'm actually surprised that he hasn't done hardly anything. Also, probably another reason why his name is listed so low in the list of characters or actors. All right, let's see who else do we got. We got Laura Gordon, is June Ross Mitchell, which is the kind of like handler of the girl who's been possessed. Um, the psychotherapist thing or whatever. There's a word for it, her in the movie, but I can't quite remember what it is. And she's been in, let's see, Secret City, Hunters, Saw 5, Undertow. So a couple things here and there. Nothing, no, I'm going to guess that none of these actors are going to be well known actors, especially with David being the main actor. They're not going to have another actor that's really well known underneath him, but they're all doing great work. I wouldn't really say that any of them were terrible or even mediocre. I think they all played their roles well. Let's see, who else do we have? Ian Bliss, I think, is the showrunner character. Yeah, if I remember correctly, Ian Bliss is basically the guy that's trying to get the keep the show moving and try to get the main actor, main character of the show. Oh, I didn't say his name. David's character's name is Jack Delroy, the host of the show, and Carmichael Haig. Ian Bliss is playing Carmichael Haig, who is basically running the show and trying to get him to meet with the people that are financing the show and stuff like that to keep the show going. All right, there is a Faisal. Oh wait, what else has Ian Bliss done? Ian Bliss has done The Matrix Reloaded. Okay, so this guy has some bigger things. He was Bane in The Matrix Reloaded, The Matrix Revolutions. That's a decent character, decent sized character. Superman Returns, he was Shuttle Commander. so again, not a lot of things going for him either, but he was pretty good in it. He actually didn't do a whole lot in the movie, but decent character. Fayazul Bazi is the closest I would say to not giving the greatest performance in this movie, and even his was pretty good. He was supposed to be kind of like a cheesy character, and but like he was also there's scenes where he's kind of like in pain and stuff like that, and I don't know, it wasn't the greatest, but the even the worst actor in the movie is still doing pretty good stuff. But yeah, he played Christo, a guy who can talk to the dead, basically. And he's on the show to do that whole I hear a name and try to see if he finds anybody in the crowd that bites, that sort of thing. What else has he done? Peter Rabbit, he was the voice of Mr. Todd. Stateless, The Merger, and Shantaram. Abdullah in Shantaram. Okay, anyways, he was okay. The character is a fine character. The actor did an okay job. All right, and then the other actress who I would say also probably is pretty close to, yeah, who's pretty close to the main co-character. Like so, like co-host is I would say the secondary character. Well, she's like second or third. Um, so let's go ahead and take a look at her. And then there's other actors who do smaller roles on the set and who do some of the audience members and stuff like that. But I think I'll stop at Ingrid Torelli, who played Lily. Ingrid Torelli played the possessed girl, and I think she played both roles, although she looked quite a bit different when she was playing the possessed version. So there is a slight possibility they had someone else acting that. I'm gonna look through the characters and or other actors and see if I can see that. But I don't think so. I think it's her, and she does a great job in both. She's a creepy kid, like older kid, not like in Imaginary where it was a really little kid. So you expect like she's probably a little older. I'll see if I can see what her age is. She's probably a little older, a little more experienced with acting. Does a pretty good job in this movie. So convincing. Does a good job of being a weird kid who's also possessed. All right. So let's see. What do we know about her? She did Five Bedrooms, Bloom, and Force of Nature, The Dry 2. So I've never heard of any of these. Um, let's see. Oh, some of these aren't coming, haven't come out yet. Like the Force of Nature, The Dry 2 hasn't come out yet. What else was she in? The Mirror, The End, Breathe. Anyways, okay. And then let's see if we can see how old she is. Does this say? Does this tell me how old she is? Oh, let's see. An Australian actress known for her work on Late Night with the Devil. For okay, she's Australian. I think that's what it's saying. Yeah, Australian actress. Doesn't say how old she is here. I kind of want to know. I think she's an adult. I think she's just a young looking adult. But let's see if we can bring her up on Wikipedia. She not have a Wikipedia yet? Maybe not. Wikidata. No, I don't think I'm going to get her age. But if I would have to say, I would say she was in her late teens, maybe early 20s, but like playing younger, playing like a 16-year-old girl, I think, in this. Um, and so, yeah, that's what I would say is, let's see, is this going to get me? No, she doesn't have her own wiki. Okay, anyways. Um, so she does a good job, especially if she really is younger, and I just think she's playing like a younger character, that she's older and playing a younger character. But yeah, she does a good job in this. All right. So generally speaking, what I would say about this movie is that it kind of reaches above its limits. You get a movie that is pretty much, and I may even say 100% based on this one set, which is his talk show set. There's some like cutaways, and there's some like you know commercial breaks where it puts up like the old classic like commercial break thing that's it's going away to a commercial. Um, some black screens happen a couple of times, but it doesn't really leave the confines of the stage if I'm remembering correctly. So it's not like it goes backstage. So there's some scenes like that are backstage. So that kind of counts as leaving the stage. But I don't think they ever go outside or do anything that reflects what's going on outside of this world, right? I'm sure it was very cheap to make because the set design was very, it had the classic 70s look, and even the film style was more filmed like the classic 70s talk shows, that sort of thing. And I just really enjoyed the whole aesthetic of it. Um, they do a good job of building to the climax while giving you some entertaining stuff along the way. It's basically the whole movie is this one show. There's some there are a few scenes that are outside of the stage because yeah, it does some things where it's talking about and again, I don't want to do spoilers where it's talking about the characters outside. So anyways, but for the most part, the movie takes place on this talk show stage, and you just basically watch a talk show happen. And they do a really good job of keeping that entertaining, even though it's really kind of just like sitting there watching a talk show, but having all these things kind of going on and building to this climax that you know is coming. Um, it's not a horror movie per se. There is some scary moments, kind of. There's no jump scares. There's no real. You don't have a huge sense of foreboding. It's more of a, you know, like Exorcist or something, where it's it's someone is possessed. There's some spooky elements to it, but it doesn't get to the point where you're just like, oh, they're gonna scare me. It's there's not the jump scares in this, but I really enjoyed it. I love the vibe. I love the acting. I really recommend you go see it, and so hopefully you do. Let me know in the comments what you think, and thanks for watching my video. All right, everybody, take care. Have a good day.